Yeah.
Yo, what's up, senders? I am here. Mike Bush is here. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, man? Stoked to be part of this, and it's gonna be fun. I think we have a good show lined up, and for us, like I don't know, for me, it's I've never done a podcast before, but being just being able to talk to a friend about mountain bikes and the journey and what I'm doing and what we have going on as a community is just gonna be pretty rad. So
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked that I'm able to get you here on the Segment Podcast. Folks, you guys are in for a treat. MTB Kook is the handle on Instagram. Check him out. Mike Bush is doing some great things out there. And I can see we have folks in the audience. Mike, we're going to go ahead and just say what's up with the chat. Basically on the podcast, it is completely like interactive with the live chat. So looks like, and I always give a whole shout award out to the first person on the show to make a comment. And today's whole shot award is going out to Miami, Florida. Mountain Bike Q&A says, I guess I'm not sleeping tonight.
dang, all the way from Florida, jeez.
Yeah. So
So
what's up? That is Johnny U and Lauren U. And if you guys are out there listening in podcast land, Johnny just had a podcast. He's actually a fellow podcaster, mountain bike podcaster. He had a show last night. So that is up there on Spotify. So tune in to the Johnny U show as well. He had a good one last night. We got out of Durango, Colorado, but is on a road trip. Spokesman MTB. He says, no, you're not. He'll be sleeping later. So Spokesman's actually going to be in Southern California, or is in Southern California as we speak right now. So he is doing the full-on tour. We're going to head on over to Lake Tahoe. We got Trail Pimp in the house, North Star local out there. What's up, Trail Pimp? He says, hello, homies. Good to see you, brother. And we are going to be rocking and rolling. We got Air Blair in the audience tonight. He says, what's up, MTV family? You know me, Mr. Blair, Mr. Air Blair?
Yeah.
Yep. Blair's in the house, representing Laguna Beach, California. And we got MTB TNA out of Miami saying, hold up. I was on here first. Johnny just commented first. we got to do a full-on whole shot award for Miss MTB TNA. Looking for it here. Looking for the sound effects. Ladies and gentlemen, the whole shot award, Mike, it's going out to MTB TNA.
Love it.
Oh yeah, MTB TNA. I don't know if that's coming through the headphones or if that's going through the system, but that was an applause for you, Miss Lauren. Oh, look at this. We got Bentonville in the house joining us tonight from Arkansas. Scott Ripple and the Narkansas is in. He says, what up, fellas? What's up, Scott? Good to see you, bro. Bentonville. Have you been to Bentonville, Mike?
I haven't. That'd be like a dream to go out there and go ride and go hang out with everybody out there.
Oh, it's so good. If you do go, I'll make sure that you get hooked up with an Arkansas. Though that group of guys out there, grassroots, and just pick you up from the airport, show you all the trails, take you to all the great spots, and then drop you off. They're super sick.
Yeah.
But Mike, let's get into a little bit of this. I'm gonna roll a clip from something we did a little something. I shouldn't say we. You did a little something this weekend.
You could say we. You guys all had a big part in it too. I wasn't the only one. So
the MTB community, it's a little something this weekend that sparked from your idea, and what it did was created something incredible, not only just for the local MTB community, but for the people of Maui. And folks out there, here's a little sneak peek of what Mr. Mike and I got into this weekend. Check this out.
Hi, everyone.
Get it?
Yeah, wow. How much of a banger was that right off the bat?
Dude, that was insane. That was insane. That was such a fun day. So you put out the call probably a month and a half ago looking for backers and
Yeah, probably a month ago. I was just, I mean, the way that it all kind of started is, I work for a company called June Shine, and one of our co-founders in there for us, he's originally from Maui, and then we have some friends out there, and one of our local mountain bike women, Sabrina, she's always in Maui. Her boyfriend's from Maui. He's a pro surfer out there, and so I just so happened to be on the trail one day, and I was just like, what can I be doing? And I just see everybody rolling around, and I'm just like, you know what? All I know how to do is just let's get the mountain bike community together and let's try to do something. And it just sparked from there. I just had this wild idea, and I've always been like into like charitable kind of things and doing stuff. I mean, when the Paradise Fire happened, I was up there doing stuff up there and just trying to help out and give back to the community as much as I could. And I know how strong the mountain bike community is, and so I wanted to just get everybody together and see what kind of, from the company standpoint, how much we can collect and what we can do from products, and do a fun, cool raffle, and raffle out to all the people and give back to them for them and their generosity and their donations, right? And so we were able to do that and raise a little more than $6,000 to give back to Maui, and I was just so excited and just so pumped on like just how crazy of a turnout. I mean, you were there. How crazy! I think we had like a little over 130 people show up.
Oh my gosh!
I think our ride was somewhere around. I think we were trying to count somewhere around like almost 70 riders were on the trail with us. Some split off obviously towards the end, but and in total, I think we had somewhere around 70 riders on there. It was an insane day. It was. I was 100 miles an hour everywhere. Just, I don't know. It was all over the place. I was trying to man the ticket booth with my wife, and props to her and thank you to her for helping out too. And everybody that jumped in, and AJ and everybody that jumped in and helped out, and yourself, and just all the donations, man. I mean, I was blown away. We had like 7 tables full of just everything. So
dude, even before we took off, AJ was like, we need another table. I know if we start listing off the companies, we're going to miss a couple companies, and we definitely don't mean to do that. But I mean, some of the companies that Mike, that you remember that donated to this event,
man, big ones. I mean, look, I think the biggest shout out I have to give right now, and because I want him to hear this too, is Don from Squat Moto. This is a moto guy that mountain bikes. He is got a big podcast as well. He's well known in the moto industry, and he helped out so much. He got us a lot of really good stuff, like Fast House came through, O'Neill came through, Leot, this big moto company called FXR that now is into the mountain bike gear. They dropped off a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I saw that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, one of the craziest ones that dropped by that I didn't even reach out to was Dakine. And they came out of nowhere with a big, huge box of Dakine bags. Like they had trail builder bags in there. They had all kinds of crazy good stuff for us to give out. And it was insane. I mean, Austin from Troy Designs came through with a bunch of helmets and stuff. I would plug something. I don't know if I'm supposed to, but I'm going to say it. Andrew with Vans. I mean, he helped a ton. That big ass
Van shoe.
How classic was that thing? I'm going to tell you right now, the big Van shoe, what is it? I'm going to probably butcher this, but the Troy Designs, I think it's a D4 full face downhill helmet. And then the big grand prize, getting the YT Dirt Love Dirt jumper.
Which was, by the way, for the folks that are listening, YT definitely backed this event, but that was your bike, correct?
Yeah, that was 100% mine. I bought that bike like, I don't know, probably 9 months ago, and it just sat in my garage. Like I've always been a big dirt jumper, and I wanted to get back into it. And with some of the local trails that got kind of just ran over by some motorized motorcycle things, kind of wrecked the trails. And so the bike just sat in my garage, and I never touched it. It just sat there. And and when I started thinking about doing this charity ride, the first instantaneously thing was like, I got to get people really excited about coming here. And I have this brand new bike sitting in my garage that I'm not going to ride. let's just donate it. Let's give it
Dude,
up. Let's
that's insane.
stoke somebody out. And through that process, it was probably only like maybe a week before the event. I was like, I'm gonna reach out to Dylan Stark. Actually,
Yeah.
I reached out to his girlfriend Brittany first.
Yeah.
And I wanted
Also a
to
ripper.
also a major ripper. I reached out to her and was like, hey, like, Dylan, he's got this big following, but finding people probably through his DMs is probably insane. So I reached out to her. She got it all hooked up. I met with them. He signed the frame, which was awesome. Everybody likes to get something that's signed by somebody like that's, and especially Dylan's a local dude that just unbelievably talented on a bike. So,
Oh, yeah.
And so having that, I just was like, this is awesome. And I was super thankful that they took the time out of their day to meet up with me and make that happen. So it was rad. I mean, between those 3 items, they had all the tickets.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff had like 5-10 tickets in it. No,
Yeah.
these items were like
Heavy.
Yeah. And so it was kind of wild that those 3 items were the top items, and the shoe of all things.
Yes. Well, I saw that the shoe. Speaking of, what's up, Andrew Mapstone? We're talking about the big ass shoe.
Yeah, the big ass shoe, bro.
Who was was that autographed? Did I see an autograph on the shoe itself?
Yeah. It was autographed by Steve Van Doren himself.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, damn! Wow, that's pretty epic.
Yeah, and randomly, I mean, Austin from TLD, he won the shoe and he really wanted it, like more than anything in the world. That he wanted that thing, so it was rad. I love Andrew. He's over here in the corner, size 66. Yeah, I think it was a size 66 shoe. How wild was that, man?
That was so wild. Andrew, in the comments, let us know, how does one think of building a shoe like that? Are they just like, you know what, guys? I'm gonna punch a 6.6 in the old confuser here and see what pops out the other end. Is that how it goes?
Yeah. Remember, Vans is founded in 1966. So
they
had a 66-inch shoe for it.
That makes sense. That makes 100% sense. Oh, dude, that's so rad. I love it. Off the wall Vans. Yeah, shout out to Andrew Mapstone. So good.
Yeah, Mappy's a legend.
So all these things came out, and boy, when I mean, there were so many companies. It's just insane. That was cool that Dakine showed up out of nowhere. That was pretty awesome. That was really awesome. The sponsors, the supporters of this show, I just sent in your flyer, and immediately they were like, "Oh, of course! Like we'll overnight this stuff over there and this and that." And
yeah,
I thought that was cool. Everybody was just
6D came in and dropped the helmet and the hat and a few things. That was awesome of them to do too. I do have to give a shout out. I'm really bad with names, so I'm sorry, but the guy from Unspoken,
Brett Hall, Unspoken. Yes.
Dude, he came through with a bunch of stuff too, which was super rad as well. And so I was stoked on his support too. And just, I mean, everybody Versus Tires came through, and just a lot of people. I mean, it was insane. I mean, just the amount of stuff that came through and was on the tables for raffle. I mean, I can't tell you all the groms, like how stoked all the kids were. There were so many kids that were just at the table the whole time, just like buying one ticket. What can I get for the one ticket? And one of the kids, like he's a local ripper too. I don't know the kid's name, but I should, but he rips on a bike, and he put one ticket in the helmet box and he won the D4 like TLD helmet. He was so stoked, and I was so stoked for him. Like, it was unbelievable. Like, it was such a cool, like just experiencing that with him. Like, he was so pumped on the whole thing. And so I was stoked that it went to him.
That's so cool, dude. Stoking out people, and the group ride itself was awesome. Like, so many, all skill levels, and we were all together. I think at one point I got it on GoPro in that video. I looked up, and Joey goes, "Look at that train." And I looked up, and I was in the middle of the train, and it was just a line of people all the way up and then all the way across the ridge.
Yeah, what's crazy is, so I mean, from the local dog park, right? I mean, people who know dog park, they'll know this trail. It's called Car Crash. I literally was going off the bottom like jump where Sean was filming, and he clips me at the very end. I'm the first guy, and there's people all the way still at the very top of the trail. That's how long the train was, all the way back up, which
My
is an insane amount of people. Like I said, it's close to like almost 70 people on a bike. So it was wild.
Yeah.
You know, we had, just like we said, I mean, all ages, all skill levels.
Yes.
One of my suppliers at work, who's actually a really good friend of mine, who does not ride bikes at all. I got him a YT decoy to borrow,
Uh-huh.
and he rode all of the trails with us.
What?
Yeah, it was insane that he made it through the whole thing on your clip that you put together from the raid, like as we're dropping into Sloppies, like just after the first the wood wall ride,
Yeah.
he
Is that
pulled over
him?
to the side for you. And and you
Yes.
go by him, and he's riding Sloppies, doesn't ride bikes besides like he rides the boardwalk or the beach cruiser, but outside of that, like never rides a mountain bike or anything. And he's
Oh
really
my
straight, so, yeah,
God. I remember
insane.
going past that guy. I was like, sorry, buddy. And he like made
Yeah,
room for us to squeeze by. That was dope. And for the folks who have not ridden Sloppy Seconds, that's definitely one of those ones where you gotta, there's a lot of things on it. And so for a person to just go down it without barely riding a bike, that guy's got big balls. I
yeah,
love
right.
it. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah,
Dude,
it's
that's
super
so
fun.
cool. Andrew
Yeah.
Mapstone is saying boner jump. Is that the last jump that you hit down there
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
bottom?
yeah, yeah. I wasn't gonna call it that, but yes, thank you, Mappy. It is. It's called the boner jump at the very end. It used to be like this small little double that was towards the bottom. That was a fun jump, and some boys from San Diego. So I'll give a shout out to Sean and Kyler and the boys. They built that thing up and made a super fun jump out of it. So
Nice.
it's good. It's definitely a little bit of a booter, and it's just a fun ender to the trail.
That's so cool. Now I rode slot. I rode car crash twice that day, and I passed it both times because I was just scoping it. Is it like caseable, or do you got to really send that thing? Is it trail speed? What's your
No, the boner jump, right?
yeah?
Yeah. No, you can case it. Yeah, it's caseable.
Caseable.
I don't recommend it. I never recommend casing jumps, but
Right, it never feels good.
but if you have to, then yeah, I mean it's not going to be one of those life or death situations. You'll still ride out of it and be all right, but you'll definitely know to yourself of I'm not casing that jump again. So
Yes, these brake levers are not my friend right now.
yeah, right.
Is that boner jump trail speed when you hit it, or do you got to
Yeah.
pedal?
I don't know. I mean, I carry trail speed pretty well, but yeah, I think most people take like 2 cranks into it, and you're on an e-bike too. So yeah, 2 cranks out of the corner and just send it, and you'll be good to go.
Ooh, going back there to get that, check that
Yeah.
off. Spokesman MTV is asking for the jump line record. I wonder if that's a time that he's asking for. Spokesman, let us know. Do you know what he's talking about there?
I don't, but I'm thinking like, what's the
Strava time?
the Strava time down it? I don't know. I mean, I don't really ever go off Strava any of that because the guys who Strava those trails, they bypass all the jumps.
Oh, they're just going for speed.
They're just
Yeah.
going straight for speed. I mean, I've done it where I've gone for speed. I can either top the leaderboard or be second place or something, definitely. But no, like hitting the jumps. Why hit the trail if you don't hit the jumps, right? So
Yeah, right. That's true. Oh, here he is. He's clarifying. He
oh,
said,
jump line record. There we go. Yeah, 70 people on the trail. There it is.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy about that is we did car crash intervention to Sloppy,
Mhm.
and I don't think there was a ball up on there at all. I
Mm-mm.
mean, we cleaned it with everybody up, everybody down safe. I mean, we had one rider on intervention kind of peel off for a split second, but that was before the train, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had one. We did have one of the Groms. He crashed, but at the very, I think it was like right into Sloppies or something like that. But he was good to go. Jumped back up on his bike and was back at it again. So, I think everybody kind of knows at the bottom of Sloppies that you come up the hill and you're going to go to that step up, and that's where everybody wanted to go, and especially knowing that Dylan was there and whatnot. So
yes,
everybody wanted to send it.
that was insane. I met a kid that day. His name was CJ.
Oh yeah,
And
CJ, little ripper. Yep.
dude, he pulled that Suey,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, have you done that before? He goes, that was my first time. He goes, I was just talking to Dylan Stark, and Dylan said, just, you got this. Just throw your hands off. And he did. And he stuck it. And AJ and I were laughing. We're like, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. I always just have to remind myself is like, they're 15 years old and
They'll bounce.
They bounce back a little bit different than we do, right? So.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah, they definitely do. MTV TNA is saying YouTube description says dog park. Is there a dog here? Please share dog. Yes. Is my dog here?
Mine's in with my wife, or else I would bring her out, but she's in there hanging out so that she wouldn't tapping out and barking at the whole time. But the reason it's dog park is there's literally a dog park on the corner of the trail system. So there's a little gated off area for people to take their dogs and walk their dogs and have a little fun in the park, and then a whole trail system. So I know some of the guys that come out, their wives go to the dog park and hang out with the dog, and some of the guys, they go out and rip the trails for a little bit and go back and get the little time in. So
yeah, that's such a great spot. I also love how, is it Phil's World? They've got like stuffed animal dogs on it as you're cruising through.
Yeah.
First time I was on there, I was like, what is that? What? Oh, those are stuffed animals. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Mappy's over here. It's originally called Weed Patch, 100%. It was called Weed Patch for a long time until it then became Dog Park.
Interesting. One of the doctors that for my work, I talked to docs. One of the doctors that I talked to, he was one of the original guys out there. He's an older mountain biker, and I remember him calling it the Weed Patch. He showed me pictures of it, and there was only a few of the trails at the time, but that's so cool that there's been guys out there ripping that place for so long.
Yeah, it's been going for a long time. I mean, shoot, they used to ride. That used to be like Cameron Steele, like local legend around here in San Clemente. That used to be their spot where they'd ride moto and stuff back in the hills back there, and then it turned into a mountain bike zone.
Wow, that's really cool. Mappy saying, you got to talk about the guy who won the best shirt. Who was that mysterious man?
Ramon. Ramon is classic. He's my I love Ramon. Ramon's such a great guy. He's just a good dude all around, and he's part of the whole Maniacs crew, and just I met him through AJ and stuff, and his shirt was just classic Hawaiian shirt that had what did he have? It wasn't squirrels. Mappy, what was it? Wasn't squirrels on his shirt. Raccoons. It was raccoons on his shirt. He just had a ton of raccoons all over his shirt, and I was like, I said it in my video when I was going up for the charity. I when I put out my video, my personal video, I told him, I was like, look, I might have a surprise for you if you win. Like, whoever wears the best Hawaiian shirt or has the best Hawaiian dress up, I have a surprise for you that you're gonna win. And this dude came, he showed up, and he conquered that with that raccoon Hawaiian shirt. It was just it's like, what a legend. Like, he's awesome.
That's crazy, bro. That's so funny. We got DNVND says, sup, welcome aboard, bro. Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
We also got
I'm assuming that's Donovan. Donovan's local trail legend with us, rides with us all the time. What's up, boy?
Yeah, what's up, Donovan? Actually showed up just a little earlier. Joey and I showed up and got some hot laps in with Donovan and Andrew, which was super fun.
Yeah,
got some laps in. And then I think Donovan, or no, it was Mappy. He took a picture. We took a group shot and they sent it over to Fred. And they're like, oh, Fred didn't make it today. He's
that's classic. That's so funny.
So good, Donovan. Good to see you, brother. Trump him saying, man, have you seen local rider Anthony Sanabria ride at Dog Park? He is so fast.
Yeah, dude. Anthony's trail pimp. Anthony's he's my boy. I like him. Anthony's a good dude. Rips on a bike, super fast. You'll see him topping the leaderboard all the time on Strava out there too. He was living here in San Clemente, moved away for right now, but still comes back down. He's actually really good friends with Austin, and so he comes back down and hits the trails from time to time. But yeah, Anthony's he's a major ripper. He's fast on it. He's good on a bike.
He's so good. He's so good. But the folks out there listening, Anthony Sanabria is my favorite YouTuber to watch ride. The dude is fast. Like, when I watch his videos, I can barely understand where the lines are because it's coming at you so fast. I don't think my brain processes that fast. And I think on Strava, I saw, I mean, for me, my PR, I was like, yes, I got a new PR on this trail. It was like 4 minutes. And it put me like in the mid pack. And I go, who's number one? I think Anthony Sanabria was a minute. Is it a minute and 20 seconds or something ridiculous? Like, can you
Oh,
really
wow.
do car crash in a minute 20? I mean, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. I do a car crash like in like car crash. I think do it like high 40s.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Good
I think,
Lord.
yeah. That's
That
kind
is
of I think that's kind of like where we land is somewhere in the high. I don't know. I'd have to look at. I don't really use Strava. Like I don't know. It's not my thing just because everyone's always out there trying to compete all the time, and I just go out and just try to have fun on the bike.
Yes, I know. Yeah, which I love. And that definitely segues us once we finish this Maui segment over to what you're doing as well out there to help
Yeah.
people out. But to wrap it all up with the whole Maui ride, two things. Spokesman asking a great question here. He says, props to Mike and company helping out the folks who were hit hard in Maui. Is there a place we can donate even after the event? So
Yeah,
yes.
heck yeah, definitely. I mean, either you can go on my Instagram handle. I had the link on there, and you can donate straight through that, or you go on to freshhelpmaui.com and click donate now, and you can donate directly straight to them. And just so that we can like clear the air here, because I'm very skeptical about donations all the time, because you never know where the money's really going, or is it going to hit the people directly, or is it going through some like corporate thing or something like that.
Right. They take their admin fees off the top.
Yeah, just know that this whatever is donated is going 100% back to the people in need from Lahaina, whether it be the families or the first responders that are part of it. I know the people that are running this program personally. They're ambassadors to the company I work for. They're friends, really close friends with the co-owner of Juneshine, and so I trust them dearly and know that they're doing what's right, and so so that's why I partnered up with that group and donated everything that we 100% of the proceeds that we pulled from our charity ride directly straight to that that charity and know that it went off today. So today around 3 p.m. On 9/21/2023, we as a mountain bike community were able to give back a little bit over $6,000 to Maui.
Woo! That is huge. 6,000. Holy cow. Holy cow. That must have felt unreal to hit that
Yeah,
submit button. Holy smokes.
I had a very big smile on my face for the whole thing. I was happy, super. I mean, I stoked to be able to do it, and just thankful again for everybody that came through and helped out and helped put this great event on. Because you know, without everybody's generosity, this wouldn't have happened. And so I'm stoked that it did. And obviously a huge shout out to YT and JT and Jimmy and the boys and especially Michaela over there for helping out. I mean, letting me use their parking lot and corralling everybody and shutting down the parking lot. That was a good reason why we had great success too. So
Yeah, that was so good. So good. Donovan saying, let's go. Spokesman saying, thanks, Mark. Donating now. Who is with me? I'm going to pop this up on the screen for everybody. That's freshhelpmaui.com. If you want to do that there, that goes right to it. And you just heard from Mike, 100% of the money goes to people in need for that, which was great. And I did have this keyed up. I don't know if we really need to share it because I think we all know now what has happened out there. But I didn't realize when I was making the video, I didn't realize some of the devastation of Lahaina.
yeah.
And when I looked at some of the footage as I was making this video, I was shocked to see this is what some of the aftermath looks like. I'll share it with you guys right now. Is that up there? Okay, here we go. Let's see. Let's go.
Maui.
day and the death toll climbing to 111 overnight.
This morning, as the death toll continues to grow on Maui, 111 people now confirmed dead, hundreds unaccounted for. Search and rescue teams have covered 38% of the impact zone. By 5 p.m., Lahaina's historic Front Street up in flames.
As much support as we can give, they can use GL. As much support as we can give, they can use GL.
Man, that's insane. Now that whole town of Lahaina, it's
Gone.
completely gone, right?
Gone. Yep, 100% leveled.
Somebody told me there's a famous tree there that
Mhm.
kind of like has branched off into multiple things, and there was hope that that tree, under the blackness of the burnt bark, that there was some life to it. Have you heard it at all?
Yeah, from what I know, that there's still life to that tree, which is amazing because that's what's given hope to the community out there, from what I know, and from people that I've talked to that are on ground level there. And so I'm glad that something like that is bringing joy to people's lives still, and they can see the light at the end of the tunnel, kind of thing. You know, I know it's going to be a long road, but and I hope things go in the right way, but you know, time will tell, and I know that the people there are strong, so they'll get through it, and they have all of our backing and our love and support. And so I can see it really turning around and being good. So
Totally. I love how we can rally around hope. You know, how the tree can signify, that famous tree can signify that you can get kicked and still have life in you to make a comeback. And I definitely, that warrior spirit of the Islanders out there, it's going to be in full effect for sure as they come back. As far as like tourism goes, I'm hearing things like restaurants are going out of business because people aren't sure what's open, what's not. I mean, the island of Maui is still open, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know too much. Like, yes, Maui's 100% open, obviously on not the, I think Lahaina is the west side, not on that side, but other parts of the island are still 100%. There's different reports out there, but I mean, from a lot of people that I've talked to or whatever, I mean, they want the tourists to come. They need them. It's what supports the island. It supports the people. They need that. So yes, people can still go. They can still travel. They can be part of it, part of the island, and at least, you know, their money will still flourish in the island and still help out with the people that are, you know, true Hawaiians, that a lot of them work in hospitality. So that's how they make their money to support their families. And so with all the hotels and everything out there, you know, it's what needs to happen. So
yeah, now I don't have and feel good about, you know, your vacation. It's like we're going out there, or your visit. It's like you're going out there spending the money, and it's helping. It's helping,
yeah,
which is cool. We have a couple here. Andrew saying, that's good trail karma, my bro. Yes, definitely. So, and then spokesman saying Lahaina was essentially wiped off the map. Rebuilding is going to be difficult and expensive. Let's keep the corporate interest out and give the land to the locals. Help out if you can. Well said, spokesman.
100%.
Well said, bro. Molly Ross, what's up, Molly? She's in here from June Shine. She says, great event. Thank you again for organizing, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes. We got MTV. She's so good. Molly's so good. There's a moment in my memory when Molly won the YT mystery box. And she really wanted that. And I remember talking to her before the raffle, and I said, what did you put your tickets into? And one of the things that Molly said was, I put it in that YT mystery box. I don't know what's in it, but it's supposed to be like for girls. And I'm like, I hope you win. And she's like, I am going to win. Cause she was getting lucky. She won a couple things.
Yeah.
And when she won it, I was like, Molly, you called it. And I remember looking at you guys and saying, I really wanted this.
Yeah, no, it was so good. Yeah, seeing her, and she's like, I have no idea what's in it. And I was like, I don't know what's in it either, but that's so great that you won.
Yes, I was so stoked for you, Molly, when you won that. That made me smile so good. MTV Raging says, great job, Mike, for stepping up to the plate. And kudos to YT San Clemente for always being amazingly open armed host. Yeah, open-armed host, not open and armed. Armed with some sick bikes, maybe, but yeah.
JT's the man over there. Dude's a great guy.
JT's the man. I remember when we were talking about the event, I said, do you Have you talked to JT at all? And you're like, already talking to JT. I'm like, oh, you're good over there then.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess that can lead into kind of our next topic here is JT's also been a major supporter in my clinics that I've been kind of putting on, and I need to do a couple more, which we could talk about, but that's another thing. If we want to jump into that segment real quick too, I mean,
Yeah,
I'll go full force on that real fast.
definitely.
I was literally on the trails again out at Dog Park, and I'm always like, I always try to like give a little insight to people that just to try to help them out with their riding. Not that I'm like this exceptionally great rider, but I have been around long enough on a bike.
Wait, what?
What?
What? But you
This
know,
dude ripped for the folks that are listening. Sorry to interrupt.
I've been around the bikes for a little while, and think I have a few little tricks and tips to give. And so you know, I was on the trail one day and I was just cruising, and I'm always like trying to help, like just talk to the guys that I ride with all the time and just give little tips and tricks. And I was like, you know what, like, what if I just did this for the local community and just gave back? You know, out at Dog Park, it's been kind of wild. And actually, a buddy of mine who's a local fire paramedic, I was talking to him, and he kind of sparked the interest in me. Not that he wanted me to do a clinic, but he was just, it's what resonated with me is because for quite some time, it was like almost like, I think it was like weekly, there was like maybe 1 or 2 airlifts out of Dog Park, of people getting really hurt. And it was all over like the silliest things, silly features that could have been, you know, avoidable if they just were probably taught a different style of riding, or had a little tips and tricks of you know, from brakes or suspension setup or bike setup or body position or whatever it may be, to where then when they're going down the trail, they can attack it correctly and not be out of control and crashing and breaking an arm, a leg, a collarbone, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a beginner novice clinic. I'm going to put it out there. Thank you, Donovan, for making me the flyer. I'm going to put it out there, and I'm going to see what the response is going to be. If nobody wants to do it, fine. I tried, right? Yeah. But if some people want to do it, great. Let's go to the trails and let's make it happen. I ended up having over 150 people respond to me and talk to me that they wanted this to be done. And awesome. From that, I was just like, all right, I said it. Now we're going to do it. And I'm not like, I'm not an event organizer or anything like that. I'm just a dude that wants to help out and give back. And so it was, I put this, like, the flyer out there. I had an Eventbrite, like, you know, ticket kind of thing of, just so everybody knows, it was for 100% for free, no cost. Show up and get some tips and tricks. And so put this thing together. I originally asked for 15 people because I didn't want it to get like, and 15 adults, not kids. And I'll explain why, but adults, just because I feel like anything bigger than 15 was like, it's going to be like herding cats, right? And I was like, I don't want to get into the herding cats kind of area.
And so, I'm too old for this.
Yeah. And so we show up. Thank you again, YT. They allowed me to have a meeting spot in the parking lot so that I can get this and sign some waivers and stuff too. And ended up, like, I think it was like 37 people showed up. Right. Wow. Cause you know, a friend told a friend, and the friend's like, oh, I want to be in on this too. And they didn't know about the sign up or anything like that, which at the end of the day, I didn't care. I was like, oh, I'm just stoked that everybody showed up. Actually, this is way cool. And so we ended up doing it, and I ended up, you know, going over to Intervention and putting on a little clinic and just going over the basics of bike setup, the basics of body position, some jumping techniques that I know. And I think it really resonated with a lot of people. A lot of people didn't understand any of that. And so it was good information for them to take back. And immediately after we started talking, all of the guys and girls that were inside of it, they were just off the first two. I don't know why, but everybody gets paranoid off the first two jumps.
Yeah.
And they were ripping it. Everybody was hitting them. People were coming up to me, giving me a hug, high fives. I would have never done this before. And so it just pumped me up to wanting to get to do the next one, which was really supposed to be in September. But I thought my time would be more useful for the Maui charity ride than it would to do the clinic. So we'll end up doing a clinic sometime in October. I haven't figured it out yet, just because October is it's a busy month. I mean, Rampage is right dead smack in the middle, and I'm trying to get out there to go ride there and ride with all the boys out there and have fun. But I don't know yet. There's a little bit of challenges, but and then just trying to find time and trying to make it all work before it starts. I don't know. I mean, we're in Southern California. There's rain a ton, but I'm going to try to dedicate a lot of this winter to building some really good trails out there too. So.
Damn, man. That is awesome, Mike. You're definitely putting in some good stuff out there. When I'm going to try to pull up your Instagram here, because I remember seeing the post on that. And I do remember Joey and I having a conversation of joining one of those, because I'm fairly new writer. I started when COVID started. There's so much I need to learn. And obviously I know you, and I've seen your writing abilities. And now that you have this, I'm like, damn, I gotta get some tips and tricks from Mike. The day that you were out there with people, was there something that you kind of noticed among the group that seemed to be the most common thing?
Yeah, 100% body position on a bike.
Was it? Okay.
Most people, they're on the bike completely wrong or have the bike completely set up. I mean, I'd say the general person goes out and just buys a bike. They spend, $6,000-$8,000 on a bike, and they think it's already going to come off the shelf 100% set up and ready to go, which is 100% not the case, right?
Right.
It's come very general. They come, with whether you got a spring in the rear or an air fork or whatever it is. They come at a very general weight. They come at set up, just put together by the local bike shop guy, whatever. So you really got to, put in the little bit of effort to make it set up for you, your style of riding, whether you're going to be doing a lot of like techie trails or jump trails. Like I tell everybody, wherever I ride, usually it's only 2 or 3 locations, but I bounce between San Clemente and Laguna a lot. And both of those places are completely opposite bike setups. So every time I ride there, either one of those, I will set up my bike accordingly. I'll have corrected air in the shocks, tire pressure, brake lever setup, anything that I feel is comfortable for me. I'll make sure that it's set up that way so that I know I can attack the trails and be comfortable on the trails.
Wow, that's good. That's so good. Yeah, so many times people just show up to every single trail with the same setup every single time. Like I got a rebound here, and my clicks are over there, and I'll just get used to the way the bike feels, and here we go.
Yeah, I think if anybody saw a video, I don't think there's a video out there, but my very first jump on the step up on the charity ride, right? My rear shock was set up for Laguna, and I totally forgot about it, and I hit it, and I got super nose heavy and kind of scared myself that I was going to be going over the bars almost. Probably didn't look that bad, but for me in the air, I felt like it. So I had to go back, and I turned 4 clicks of rebound and shut it out for a much slower speed so that when I compress, it doesn't just rebound me back out and send me over the bars. And after I did that, then every jump after that was, 100% perfectly fine. So
dude, butter. So butter. I actually, let me see. I'm just gonna change this real quick. As you're talking about that, I'm just gonna go to I have a clip of you throwing a 1-footer and a bunch of the other folks out there hitting it too. Let me see if I could pull that up.
Yeah, trying to get a little 1-foot table, a little 1-foot steez in there and have a little fun.
Yes, it looks so good. Okay.
I didn't want to break myself off in front of 70 other people while we were standing there. I had to go back and give a raffle, so I wasn't trying to get too wild.
Too rowdy.
Yeah, too rowdy. That's all the kids in Dillon. That's their deal. I still had to get back and raffle off some sweet gifts that we had. So
you were right in there with it. I mean, if that's your dial back, Good grief. I just want like a smidgen of that talent so that I can the rolling on that thing is gnarly and it doesn't show it on camera. Just the
Mhm.
rolling alone, it's like a good squirrel catcher for anybody
Yeah,
who's even thinking about, oh, maybe I could do this.
yeah, we call those the gatekeepers. Try to
Yeah. Oh, I
yeah,
like that.
if you can't hit the gatekeeper, you have no business hitting the jump kind of
Not
thing.
knocking on that door. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like, I mean, so look, the clinic is rad. It's a good way for me to give back to the community, do something. I know that there's people out there that obviously they do this as a business. I've been approached by many people already asking me if I'm going to do this as a business, and that's never my intuition to make it a business. It's more of just me just trying to be a good fellow mountain bike rider that has a little bit of knowledge and just try to help out and give back to the community. I think the guys that you pay for, their skill set's way above mine, so you probably want to listen to them a lot more. But but at least just I like to help out where I can, and I'm already out there riding anyway. So if I have to set aside 2 hours of my Saturday to give back to everybody and try to help some people out and stoke some people out and see them on the trail and progressing, I'm all in. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's so awesome. It's cool that I mean we've seen this season alone. I don't know why. Maybe because we had so much rain and then the trails changed and people were off the bikes a lot. But there has been a lot of injuries this season. I feel like, knock on wood. But it's cool that you were like, hey, I'm tired of seeing these helicopters. Let me try to help out here and just give some folks some tips
Yeah.
that'll hopefully not.
Yeah. I mean, look at helicopters draw attention, right? And when you get
Yes.
attention, the last thing I ever want is my trail system to be shut down.
Yeah.
And there's 100 other guys out there that are the same way. We don't want the trail system to get shut down. And so, what can we do as a community to give back and help out? And I've been lucky enough to have a little bit of a different skill set on the bicycle, and so if I can lend a little bit of knowledge that I have, I'm going to do it. And if that helps people and makes them a little bit more confident and gives them a little bit more to do, then I'm blessed and thankful and just excited to do it. So.
That's so good, dude. That's so good. All right, for the folks that are on here with us, for the folks that are on iTunes or Spotify that are listening to this, if you go to MTB Kook, you will see how well Mike Bush is being he's being so humble. But the dude rips. He freaking rips. He's crazy. He's awesome. He's off the charts. And here's a little bit of that right here. I did get a clip, which was awesome. Check this out, Mike Bush. Insane. Let me cut this down on this. Insane, Mike. That whole session was so fun to watch. I had a great time as the cameraman sitting right there watching you guys come through. I'm like, here comes another one. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like lap after lap. We've got a couple good questions over there too. What is Mappy?
Yeah. Check back in with the chat here. Let's see. We got Trail Pimp is saying, Mike, do you ride with Damon Hoffman and his kids at Dog Park?
So I've seen Damon out there a few different times. Damon, if you don't know, he's an old legend, motocross racer. Solid dude in racing moto. And he rips on a mountain bike too. I see him out there from time to time. I've never had the pleasure to meet him and just talk to him face to face or ride with him, but I do see him out there from time to time.
Sick. Kelly O'Bikes is asking, what's up, Kelly? Good to see you in here. Kelly, a student of the sport for sure. She's saying, when is the next clinic?
Sometime in October. I'll announce it probably. I'm thinking probably this weekend. I'll announce a date. I just got to get a couple ducks in a row, and then we'll announce a date of the next one.
Beautiful. Dude, I love that, man. I love it. Spokesman's imitating that if he was there teaching, he would say, "Stop flapping your arms on the jump, Billy." That's my tip.
Yeah, yeah,
Spokesman could be a co-host with you on that
yeah, right.
that skill day. Trail Pip is all saying Dog Park is sketch, but super fun too. Those G outs are crazy. The gap jumps are crazy too. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah,
It's
good trail system.
Donovan saying it made me realize my reach was a little too stretched out. Head over the YT logo. Oh wow, so you covered a lot of things then.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Covered a lot. Like I said, spent 2 hours. I'd say we probably spent about an hour and I'd say probably hour and 30, hour and 40 minutes just going over all the details and whatnot. I mean, it was my first one and like I said, I ramble a lot, so it was probably a lot of rambling, but a lot of probably useful information for some people. And so we'll channel it a little bit different on the next one and hopefully actually we'll have a few companies out there like I have to give a shout out to, I didn't earlier, but I have to give a shout out to my boy Thomas over at Better Bolts too, because he came in.
Yeah.
Well, Better Bolts was massive and came in clutch, and Thomas helped out a ton. So I have to give him a huge shout out as well.
Yeah, shout out to Tom. That dude's rad, and I love what they're doing at Better Bolts. I love that new freedom lever for the TRPs.
Yeah, Freedom Coast.
Oh my goodness. They're making other levers too for other brakes, which is coming out soon. Ooh, we got a good one here. I actually wondered about this one. Andrew Mappy is asking, what's the story behind the name MTB Kook? Because you're far from the definition of that. What is that story?
It's kind of the idea behind it, right? It was just me, like obviously like growing up surfing and stuff. Kook's just like a big thing, right? And so I was just kind of joking around with names in my head one day, and I was like, let's just go with MTB Kook and see how it flies. And it kind of just stuck. And it's so funny because for the longest time nobody knew that it was me, and I kind of kept it hush hush and whatnot. And then people started figuring it out and blowing it out. And they're like, dude, you're not even a kook. And I'm like, no, like that's just the idea behind it. It's funny. Let's have a good time. Let's not take things serious. And at the end of the day, it's just all of us just, I don't know. It's just a funny thing. Nothing really like crazy behind it, but just a good time. And I can have a laugh at it with everybody. And I meet people on the trail and they're like, oh, what's your Instagram? I tell them and they're like, what? And I'm like, I just start laughing because I think it's hilarious. But
yes, dude. I think the first time I realized that you were MTB Kook was one of the YT group rides we did, and you were sending that new jump so far. And then I remember seeing the footage back and I'm like, that's MTB Kook? Like, dude, that's hilarious.
yeah, no, it's definitely, I don't know. It's funny. A lot of it too is just, it's a lot for the Groms too, because I think it's hilarious. Like, it's super. I find joy out of it. I think it's hilarious. So
that's so good. That's
so
good.
It'll be a household name before you know it. So
yes. I love that, man. Trumpip is saying, go see Mike at Gravity. He's a genius at suspension setup. Yeah, there's so much to learn about suspension.
There's so many suspension companies out there, and I learned a lot of stuff from my racing moto days and stuff, and learned a lot of suspension settings and whatnot, and what works and what doesn't work for me at least. And then I just jump on the good old YouTube and listen to a lot of very good, talented riders and how they set their bikes up for the type of riding that I personally do. So I just kind of fall in line with them and see what works for me and flow that way.
Dude, that's so good. I want to get to the point where I'm not afraid to turn the dial and be like lost in click land and be like, oh no, the front's diving, the back's bucky, like I'm totally lost now. Spokesman saying, if you can't laugh at the event coordinator, then who can you laugh at? Speaking of possibly when you were sending and getting hurt there on that, he's also saying that I jinxed the entire FTB community.
Yeah, I think that's hilarious. Yeah, no, I don't know if we want to get into this segment right now, but I had a lot of people that were asking me my background, right?
Yeah.
I know we only have a few minutes, and so I want to
No, we
address that
can
because
take.
I had a lot of DMs today that were asking me this question, and
Wait, before you get into it, I'm gonna just as a podcast or as a person who's interviewed people, every single ripper that I've talked to has either come from moto or BMX. That seems to be the two things that I see the most when I'm talking to people that are a high skill set. And so, are you one of those?
yeah, so I had a big BMX background, and then obviously I do have a pretty solid moto background as well.
Damn, I knew it. I knew it, Mike.
But yeah, BMX was always my thing. Is from a little kid. My brother raced BMX, and when I was a little kid, I got into riding BMX, and you know, I think I spent every day of my life outside of school. I had a local dirt jumps down the street that I started working on when I was about 7 years old, and started digging trails and working on trails, and you know, all my local Riverside boys, they'll know it as it used to be called the Forest, and people that weren't local knew it as the airport jumps. But really it started from there. I had a lot of really good people kind of wrapped around me that were a lot older than me, and kind of helped me along the way, showing me the ropes. And you know, I have crazy stories of I was like 12 years old, and guys that were like 19, 18, that had cars, they would be throwing me in their truck and taking me to other dirt jumps that were far away so I can go ride. And you know, I think times were obviously way different back then, and you know, things are a little bit different now. But yeah, I have a few dudes that used to tow me around and take me to a bunch of famous dirt jumps that sadly are no longer around today. But you know, they were big in the BMX Plus magazine days and Ride BMX days, and I was fortunate enough as a kid that I had a really good friend named Matt that I rode BMX with every day, and then my local guys that were on my street, Chris, Cody, Jeff, all these boys that I grew up riding with, that ripped on bikes too, and we used to go to there used to be the skate park out in Paris, California called the Real Ride, and then it changed to the Compound. And they had a foam pit. They had big dirt jumps.
Dude, I heard about this place. Yes.
Yeah, and so I mean, it was you know, somewhere that it helped me progress a ton. And growing up in the Inland Empire, during that time frame of riding dirt jumps as a BMX rider, I was able to be wrapped around a lot of like professional athletes at that time, and guys that just ripped on BMX bikes, and so it helped me out a ton, and helped me just progress on a BMX bike, and I started riding a lot of contests and doing, you know, backyard jams, and try to qualify for some of the bigger BMX events. But unfortunately, I wasn't good enough per se on the trick side of things to qualify really into it. And I didn't have any, like, no one, like no sponsors or nothing. There really wasn't, like, I don't know. I felt like back in the day too, it was more like as raw as it was also still a boys club. And so it was really hard to, like, you know, get your name out there and get into it. And so, yeah, to break in. And I was strictly 100% a dirt jumper. I didn't like parks. I didn't like grinding. I didn't like doing street stuff. I didn't like any of that. So, but I mean, look, I mean, it was a long road to get there. My family, we didn't have a ton of money, and you know, I had pieced bikes together just to try to get me by. I had a lot of, like I said, a lot of older dudes that had jobs that worked in bike shops, and they would give me hand-me-down parts to put my bikes together and help me out. And so I was blessed for that. And probably when I was like 17, I transitioned actually off of a BMX bike, and Specialized came out with a bike called a P1.
Okay.
And it was like the first dirt jumper. And oddly enough, it had, I think, 7 gears on it. And every time I'd be jumping it'd like the chain to be popping off because there was no tension to it or anything.
Right.
My buddy Matt and we rigged up it to be a single speed, made like 2 little metal spacers, found the right gearing that we wanted, and I turned it into a single speed.
What?
And I started riding that thing, and I was the only one. Every time I showed up at any dirt jumps, I'd show up at dirt jam, like dirt jumping jams, and I'd be the only one on like this like 26-inch dirt jumper, and everyone's like, "What the heck is this thing?" And, but yeah, I mean, I rode until I was like 19, maybe just as I turned 20, and about 6 years, I think I took like 6 or 7 years off the bike, never touched a bike again.
Is this like college days into
Yeah,
working world and stuff?
Yeah, I think I was riding moto a lot at that time. I
Oh,
was
okay.
able to afford a new bike. I had a job, and I was able to afford a new dirt bike for once in my life. And so I started putting a lot of effort. I'd ride like 3 or 4 times a day, and or a week. I'm sorry, not a day. 3 or 4 times a week, and I started just doing a lot of moto. And one day it was just like I seen some buddies of mine that were into mountain bikes, and I was like, dude, that looks like fun. Let's get into that.
Yeah.
And that's like 13 years ago now, 12 years ago now. So,
Wow.
but I rode only for like 3 or 4 years, and did a lot of tech riding. I always knew that I always had like jumping in my background, like just from dirt jumping my whole life. Like it was always there, but got into riding a lot of tech trails. So I honed in my skill and try to figure out a mountain bike, just because now I'm on like a 27 5-inch wheel, and I had no idea all this like 180 mil travel, and I was like, what is all this? I have no idea what's going on right now. And
Yeah. Did it feel like really foreign when you first jumped on, coming off of moto and having the BMX, or did it seem familiar?
It seems actually real. I got really comfortable really fast. And I actually I met up with some dudes from Orange County that I don't know how I met them, but I think I was riding Laguna actually. I think I heard about Laguna, and I started riding Laguna more, and met up with these guys and started getting into it. And then Summit had its trails, and that was before like a lot. I mean, that was before a lot of the wood jumps are there now. It was all dirt jump stuff, and so I just felt right at home there. I was like, yeah let's do this, right?
Maybe this is my stuff.
This is my stuff. And then I got into like the Fontana series of racing downhill. My first race, I had no idea what I was doing, so I just went and like jumped in like I don't know, you have like the elite downhill, and then you have like the novice downhill or something like that. And I jumped in the novice one because I was like, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know the trails out here. I just showed up. And I ended up winning by like 7 seconds in my age group.
Holy crap.
And so I was like, all right, like I guess I got to kind of like step it up a little bit. And so I went into the next fast bracket in the downhill, and ended up still like beating guys out by like 4 or 5 seconds and winning championships there. And
damn,
all right, like I like mountain bikes a lot, but I'm already late 20s by now, and kind of did that for a while, and started doing a lot of free ride stuff, just because dirt jumps was always like kind of my go-to. And so I started finding like about free ride areas and where to ride and what to do and who to connect with. And so I got into that and started free riding for a few years. And then I took another break. Just kind of got over the bike. A lot of people kind of I guess they were done riding mountain bikes, and I didn't really have anybody to ride with. And so I was just like, all right, well, it's no fun riding by yourself all the time. So stopped riding all the way until like, I think it's probably been like 2.5 years, maybe 3 years now.
Wow.
I took like another like 5-year break off the bike, and then jumped back on like 2.5, 3 years ago. And now like I ride, but I legitimately only ride like maybe like 3 hours a week if I'm lucky, maybe 1 day a week if I'm lucky. So sometimes I'll ride two times. Matters how nice the wife is going to be to me that week. So
yeah, dude, that's right. Exactly. Oh man. And every time you take a break, you probably look at the bikes that are coming out. You're like, what spaceship dropped this thing off? Like it's
yeah. I mean, dude, just to watch the mountain bikes evolve over the course of the last 10 years is insane. Like my first mountain bike that I came back that was like a decent mountain bike was a Trek Slash. I think it was
Yeah.
like a Trek/8, and I thought I had the coolest bike in the world. And then I'm looking, I'm like, oh no, I'm like still very entry level. Like this isn't really like
So
this
crazy.
isn't. Yeah, I had all basic parts on it, and so I ended up starting to have to buy parts and put all these things on there. And I'm like, oh god, what am I doing? I should have just bought like the best one because now I'm already over that price. Like, and so yeah, I mean, I
We
think
got
like
another one.
yeah, exactly. I think like 3 years ago is really when I fell in love with YT and their bikes, and I bought a Capra, and I bought a used
Ooh.
Capra, and it was you know, the Capra Pro, and had all the Kashima and all the nice parts, and I was just like, yes. And then we ended up starting to go to Utah, and I started riding the Rampage sites, and I was just like,
Good
oh
grief.
god, now I know where I belong. Why didn't I know about this a long time ago? Like,
Damn.
yeah,
And that's what separates riders. Some people go to Rampage and they go, damn, I belong here. And some people go, give me the camera, I'll hike up there and I will take pictures because this is crazy.
here's the thing about the Rampage sites, right? Like the old site, and even some of the newer stuff, but like I'm gonna pan over to the old site real quick. There's literally riding for everybody. Everyone thinks that, if they see Rampage on TV, they're like, oh, this is the gnarly. No, you go to the old site, like there's so much fun trails. You just got to be willing to hike a bike. That's it. If you can hike the bike, great. But there's so many trails there with like all different skill sets of stuff to where you can just keep progressing. Like I've watched guys go that I've been out there with, like going from like very like maybe some like novice intermediate style riding to like they're hitting 40-foot drops and going insane. So it's the progression there is completely wild. So it's a good time, and I'm always happy when I get to go back out there and ride. And so
you're going down the trail on the old Rampage. You're like, did he say left or right? Because it's a big difference in the outcome here. Which trail am I going on?
Yeah, exactly. So no, I mean, look, in reality, like, people always ask me like, how long have you been riding and stuff? And I'm always like, well, I mean, I've been riding kind of my whole life, but there's been a lot of off time on the bike too, and a lot of on time. And the only thing I could ever say is, look, like if people are looking to progress, like you got to mix. Now that I'm older and I understand differently, like you got to mix up your riding. You can't just ride the same thing all the time. You got to ride tech. You got to ride jumps. You got to ride berms. You got to ride flat. Like you mix all that up, you're just going to be a very well-rounded person, or rider, I should say, individually. So, yeah, I mean, yes, I have a very big BMX background, spent a lot of time on dirt jumps, a lot of time thinking I was going to make something of it, and it never really came to fruition. And then jumped into the mountain bike ring. So when I was about 20, like I said, 26 years old, I think I got back into riding mountain bikes or started riding mountain bikes. And Laguna was kind of my homestead for a little while, until I learned about a lot of other trail systems that are out there. And obviously Dog Park. I mean, I've been riding Dog Park for forever, just in and out of there, just because my family's all down here in San Clemente. We live here in San Clemente now. And so,
yeah, what a great system to have, though.
Oh yeah.
Dog Park is so good.
It's insane. I mean, right down the street too, you have Los Ramblas, which I know a lot of people don't really like riding there, but Los Ramblas is super fun too. And there's just a lot of good trails out this way, from Laguna down to here. And I mean, the IE, how about you? I mean, you got Greer, you got what's a Vail Lake is super rad.
Yeah,
now the boys have been putting in a ton of work out there.
So much out there. Yeah. EC and the boys are just, my goodness. And there's like signature Greer-esque-ness to some of those trails now because of the builders. And it's amazing. Quick question, Mike. When you were talking about you wanted to do BMX and you're hoping to make something of it, it never came to fruition. Fast forward to last weekend, if you could have brought your 9-year-old self there and been like, Mike, look, this is what you're going to do when you get older. And all the companies that you were trying to get attention from, here are all the companies that are hired to support you today. I bet you your 9-year-old Mike Bush would have been like, what the hell?
Yeah, 100%. Never even would have dreamed it, to be honest with you. Like, it to see how much like I wanted it as a kid to nowadays I'm a lot older and have great people like yourself surrounding me. That's where it really is at. You know, we didn't have, I don't think we really had that kind of community when I was a kid. You know, BMX was just super raw and like I said, kind of more of a boys club. And I think, you know, I heard it from, if you haven't watched, and I'm gonna plug this in real quick. If you haven't watched the question and answers from Dylan and Brittany that they posted today, watch it, because he talks about this too, of like the difference between mountain bike and BMX community is the BMX community. It's kind of like, it's almost either like a boys club or selfish or whatever. The mountain bike community is very open arms. Yeah. Come on, we love everybody. Like, it's a great community to be a part of, and everybody's welcoming. You know, if you rip on a mountain bike, people are really stoked about it, like unbelievable. If you rip on a BMX bike, it's like, oh, you're just another dude that rips on a BMX bike, like whatever.
Jeez, man.
I think ripping on a mountain bike is a little bit more sought after in our community compared to the BMX community, is my own take. I mean, it could be different now. I've been out of the BMX community for a lot of years, but I just don't see the BMX community flourishing like the mountain bike community is by any means. And so that tells me that the mountain bike community is much stronger.
Yeah, I wonder, was it the OGs who set that up for us in this mountain bike community, or is it the nature of the sport that makes us kind of bond like this?
I think it's the nature of the sport. You know, I think the difference is you're not just showing up to one spot and you're just going to do that. Like, you know, you can roll up to a trail spot and there's so many trails to do. And so I don't care if I'm like, and I'm going to name off like trails out here at Dog Park, right? If I'm on Car Crash, I might run into someone completely different over on Intervention or Jump Line or Sloppies or whatever. I'm always going to bounce into a different group. And all of those groups are super welcoming. So it's really cool that you can intertwine in between different groups as a mountain bike community. And that's what's pretty rad.
I know. I love that. And it almost always, whenever someone's stalled on the side, it's always like, you good? On the way through. Like, you okay? You good?
Yeah.
I love
That's the
that.
thing. Like, you break a leg on at least back in BMX days, everyone's like, laughing at you and like, oh, you crashed. But here it's like, you know, you break a leg, everyone's like, I swear everyone somehow becomes a medic and they want to help you out. So.
Yeah, exactly. Don't touch it. We gotta let's stabilize them. Let's call it. Yeah, we got a chopper coming in inbound. Exfil them right here at these coordinates. Like, whoa, are you ex-military?
How did you know all of that? Like, like
right?
You know, I think a lot of it too is most mountain bike communities, obviously, like for the most part is a little bit you know, probably 25 to 50 years old, and a lot of them are professionals. So it's a little bit different.
That's a good point.
Idea.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point, actually.
But I mean, look, I tell all the parents, like, look, get them in. I have a couple of Groms that I talk to all the time, and I still think BMX is a great lead into mountain bikes. Like, it teaches you a lot of skill set. But again, there is in the days of me riding BMX, there wasn't the type of mountain bikes that there are today. And so the equipment that kids have available to them nowadays, like, go get it. Let those kids rip. You go spend the weekend that Rampage happens, go out there and you'll see 10-year-old kids, you know, flipping, you know, 30, 40-foot gaps. Like, it's insane, the progression of these kids. Yeah.
Insane. And the fact that the kids have access to talent and it's a coaching talent. It's an open arm talent. Like, watching Dylan Stark, you know, just talking to the Groms and like it's
interacting.
Yeah, he's just one of them. He's just I'm out here having fun with everybody, you know, like, but you're Dylan Stark. He's just so chill. And I love that culture. And he ramped those kids up, you know, just being there and talking to them. They were sending.
Yeah, he was a secret weapon that came out, and I'm stoked that him and Brittany made the drive to come over here and go on that ride with us. And yeah, the amount of stoke that came out of those kids, the kids were so pumped on it. Like, you know, CJ, to throw a suicide in front of Dylan Stark, I guarantee
Yes.
he's at school every day talking about it, saying, dude, I threw a fat suicide in front of
Yep.
Dylan Stark on the biggest step up in San Clemente. Like, he's
Yes. Oh yeah, and you know his buddies are right there with him, like, "You did, man. I was there.
yeah,
I saw it.
it's
I
on my
was."
phone, bro. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I just love that the kids have access to that, you know, and access
Mhm.
to Instagram, and they can interact. They can see things can be done. It's like
Well,
a
I think
step closer.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day too, like I wish I kind of like I look back at it and I'm like, dude, I wish I had this like type of technology when we were kids. Like
Seriously.
think about like trying to get sponsors or trying to do something within the industry. It's a lot more accessible now. Now they can
Totally.
see you. I used to like have to go through some janky website to figure out how to like submit some random video that my buddy shot like on this big camcorder on this
Yeah, those big eights. Yeah.
yeah. It's like, dude, hey, bro, I got to go back and I got to go home and put this on a DVD and try to rewind, like, and try to clip it up. Like, no, like they don't, kids don't even know nowadays. Like, yeah. So,
Yes, exactly. Or shoot, back in my day when it was skateboarding, I would have to use the camera as it connected to the VCR, and then use the VCR to edit by like just pressing play and pause. Play and
yeah,
pause. And fast forward this, and then you send the tape in, like, what's the address? And you send it
yeah,
in, and then usually you get like a thing of stickers back later, like, sorry, we're full this year.
right.
And
Yeah.
every year you submit, Mark.
Yeah,
Here's some
exactly.
stickers, bro. I was
Yeah.
like,
Thanks for the
it's
sticker.
it was
But
so
guess what?
hard.
I was super stoked to rep that sticker though, because they
Oh,
responded back to me.
right on the folder going into my backpack for school, like
Heck
pop right
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Is
I
insane.
was
And then
talking to
fast
these
forward,
guys.
right? And then fast forward, and you're writing out there with Steve Caballero. Like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Right? Like guy that I
nice.
idolized as a kid, just watching.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't. That's one thing I didn't do when I was a kid. Like I didn't skate at all. I rode BMX, I surfed, I snowboard, wakeboard, like all these things, but I never skated. But I always knew Steve Cabell, obviously from just Action Sports, and I used to look up to that dude, man. Like he was just it seemed like a very genuine guy and just a ripper and stuff. And now that I'm at like older, and props to Mappy for the introduction, but like being able to like talk to Steve and ride with Steve and just have conversation with the guy. He's such an awesome, just humble dude. He's a good dude.
Yeah, it's so cool, man, how everything's changed. Like, you're right. Like before, they were like behind magazines, and like you never
Mhm.
see them. And now with Instagram and connections and people, and us being older and being able to feel comfortable just approaching folks, like, wow, the little kids inside are so stoked right now.
Yeah. I'm like a giddy little kid when I see those guys.
No,
Dude,
dude.
I still look up to you.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like, did I say that out loud, or did I say that inside? I hope
Yeah.
I said it inside,
Yeah.
but if it came out loud, I really do.
Yeah. Right. It's
Dude,
hilarious.
at your group ride, I was trying not to fan out because Dylan Stark there, Sabrina Patton, who's a ripper, Brittany, who's a ripper, like all these
Mhm.
rippers. And I was just going around with my camera, like, yeah, cool, we're cool.
Yeah.
Did I say anything out loud that I should
Yeah.
be embarrassed about? No. Okay, we're good.
No, yeah, I was stoked. I'm always talk about two women that rip on mountain bikes too. Sabrina
Yes.
and Brittany. Absolutely. Like I feel like they're so like underrated. Like people don't even really like. I mean, I know like Brittany, like obviously, but like they rip on bikes, dude. And I mean, Kelly's
Oh,
coming. I know Kelly's on here right now. Like she's ripping on. You know, a lot of people are starting to rip. The women are just insanely just come and talented, and it's kind of fun. You know, I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, and I'm always like on my phone, and I'm always showing her like, oh, these are the girls that are ripping. Like she doesn't know, but like
right?
you one day, like I want you to be there. Like I hope she's into it. So no, I'm
Mhm.
stoked on it all. I'm stoked on the women that are ripping out there right now.
Me too. And maybe someday it'll be, instead of like there's Red Bull Formation and Red Bull Rampage, maybe it'll be like there's Red Bull Rampage, and they're all like
Yeah,
riders,
think-
riders.
yeah. Yes, I would love that more than anything. You know, it's going to be like any other sport. I think if you've never been to Rampage, like it's such a crazy long event in one day. Like there's just so much that goes into it. So I think they need to like Red Bull needs to do a better job at like from the organizing side of things to get it done, but it needs to be like a 2-day event. And not like if it's like a money thing, like obviously Red Bull's got more money now to do it, but like
Right.
if it's a sponsorship thing or whatever, I mean, they don't let a ton of people, like you have to be industry or something like that. Like the tickets go on sale and they're gone right away. Like
Right.
get a crowd there, man. Let people buy into it. Like
Totally.
charge $50 a ticket or something like that. I'll pay $50 to go watch it because it's the gnarliest thing I've ever seen. So
Heck yeah. I'd pay $55 just so I can hold on to a rope so I
that's
can
right.
go there and watch it. Like this is
Yeah, like
I
geez,
got-
let's get in there and get this thing going and
seriously.
and watch the women rip the trails apart.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I mean, hey, and that's got to happen soon because the rider, I don't even say men or women now. It's just they freaking rip.
Mhm.
They're such
yeah.
rippers. But dude,
100%. I think it's gonna be a next generation of girls coming up that are probably in their teenage years right now that are gonna be coming out. I've seen a couple of the young girls that they're probably 16 to 20 years old that are throwing flips and doing crazy tricks and stuff like that. And that's where it's really going to come down to. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business, right? And it's entertainment, and people want to see, like Simonuk and Reader and those guys, and Simonuk throwing a tail whip down a 60-foot, drop. Like that to me is like, I don't even know how to fathom it. Like I look at that thing and I'm like, what are you doing with life? Like you are an insane human being. That is wild, right?
I tell you what he did, Mike. Here's the industry secret. The GoPro lens that we all watch through video, he figured out how to make contact lenses.
Yeah, right.
And he's looking through that because if he was looking like the rest of us look down stuff, it's a hard no.
Yeah, hard pass on that. Like absolutely not. Yeah. We've done some pretty big drops out there, but that thing is just like what he did, and just a lot of those guys do. I mean, Dylan's run, everybody's run out there is just freaking insane to me.
Yeah. And I didn't realize this, but I thought for sure our local boy Dylan Stark was a shoe-in this year. I did not realize he didn't get the invite, especially after some of the highlight reels he's been putting out lately. Like
if you listen to the question and answers that they did today, because he talks about it and he explains it and he addresses it, and there's probably some weird things of why it didn't happen, but I mean at the end of the day, like he didn't get his second run because of the wind and stuff. I mean, he put like a kind of a safety run on the first run, this first run was a gnarly run to begin with.
Yeah.
But he put a safety run in, and in my brain, I'm like, if that was your safety run, what the hell was going to come out on the second run?
Seriously, right?
As wild as it gets, but
a handrail.
Yeah, the handrail. I mean, that huge canyon gap with the tuck lander over it. Like, holy cow, that was insane to me. But he'll have his day again. He'll get back into it, and if not, I mean, whatever. Proving Grounds is super awesome for him, and one day, I mean, I know it's more of like racer stuff, but it'd be rad to see him in like Hardline or something like that.
Could you imagine?
I wouldn't even know, because those guys are all racers, and you bring a free rider like him. I mean, I know like Kyle Strait was just out there and did Hardline and stuff, but like dude, to see somebody like Dylan, like, is where the kind of guy he is, like, I want to see that. Like
ticket sales for sure. 100%. Have someone like him come in there, people be intrigued. Oh, definitely. Mike, let's check in with the chat real fast. And I think we answered this one. Donovan had asked, what age did you get your first MTB? So not until later in the 20s.
Yeah, I was 26 when I got my first mountain bike.
Damn. And Trail Pimp is asking, Mike, are you going to be at Summit on 9/30, the Trail Dogs group ride?
I don't know. I'm still trying to just plan around to see exactly when. I know I have a few of my boys that we want to go up there and hit it one last time before they shut down. So I would like to say yes, but Summit's kind of one of those places that I don't generally like to ride in massive groups because it can get dangerous for me, like personally, real quick. But no, I want to go, link up with those dudes. Those guys are all rad over there too. So I would like to go out there. It's just I gotta figure it out and plan it out and make sure that, family stuff always comes first for me. So
Yeah.
if we have nothing going on, then yeah, I'd love to get up there and go rip it with everybody.
Makes sense. There you go. There you go, Trail Pimp. If he's there, make sure you come up to Mike Bush and say, "What's up?" Spokesman's calling you a bike Guyver by all the different experience that you had and switching out parts. So bike Guyver, UO SoCal, Danny's in the house. Sometimes he's working there in Long Beach. He's saying novice 50 plus is his skill set. So I wouldn't call Danny a novice. He's definitely more intermediate rider. He's being humble as well. Spokesman saying N+1 definitely when it comes to the bikes. Trail Pimp is saying direct to consumer means all that bling for half the price. Talk about YT.
Yeah.
Trail Pimp saying steep loose tech is my favorite. So yeah, come on down and get some Laguna in. You might like that. Let's see. We got Mountain Bike Q&A says he was so nice and chill at the ride and shine. Oh, talking about there was a spotting of one of our legends on bike, Mr. Don Zabo. They got to meet. Speaking of legends,
Don, where is Zabo right now? I don't even know where that guy's at these days.
Yeah, Zabo, he unfortunately
had some health issues and stuff, but yeah,
yes, he definitely is fighting through, hopefully making a comeback, fighting through some health issues. So Don, if you're listening, we hope you can make it back to the bike. We miss you out there, brother. Yeah. Definitely a sender for sure. Let's see. Spokesman saying, sorry, my alarm went off. He's just talking about our noise. Stephen Luce takes my favorite. You so chill. What do we have here? I would have loved to ride my ride today. Oh yeah. Spokesman was in Topanga Canyon riding out there in the LA area.
There's some good views up there.
Yeah, you got some steep and loose out there for sure. Trump is saying, is gas $8 a gallon now in San Clemente?
No, dude, it's close. It's like in the $6 range now. It's getting out of control. That's for sure. Like that's living in San Clemente and go. That's part of like going all the way to Summit. I mean, it's a trek. It's a like a 2.5 hour drive. 2.5 hour drive, and it's just. I drive a big Ford E350 van, and yeah, that thing loves to drink the gas. So that thing's
drinking the gases. It's speaking of drinks, what are you drinking right there, Mike? You drinking some June Shine by chance?
Yeah, well, it's our new beer that we're about to launch here in a little bit called Easy Rider.
Wait, let me get a full layout of that puppy. Did someone say beer? Check this out, folks. Easy Rider by June Shine. When does that thing launch?
We'll launch in January.
And what does it taste like? What is it?
It's a light American lager.
Ooh. For the folks who are interested,
probably something like a little bit better than like a Coors Light, but a light beer like that.
Nice, perfect post-ride drink.
100%. I mean, shoot, I think I brought like 130 something cans to our ride for afterwards, right? Of June Shine Mix and Easy Rider, our beer that we're going to be launching. All of it was gone in like an hour and a half. I was like, no, my community came through.
Yes.
Love it. Yeah, no, it was good. I'm glad that everyone enjoyed it and had a good time. So yeah.
I ran over, which I thought was early enough when we got back. I ran over there, put my helmet away, gloves off, and all that stuff. I came back. There was the 21 and under, or there was the 20 and under.
Yep.
And there was the 21 and over. And I like popped it open and I was like, those Easy Riders are all gone.
Yeah. People are slamming them. They're having a good time. So I'm glad that everyone came and had a good time for that.
Heck yeah, man. That was definitely one of those you snooze, you lose. For sure. Donovan saying adventure. Yes, adventure on the bike. For sure. Trail Pimp saying no Dylan Stark Rampage. Yes. Check out the Q&A that Dylan and Brittany put out today. Is that on his YouTube channel?
Yeah, I think it's on his YouTube channel. I mean, both of them, if you go on their stories on Instagram, they both posted it today too. So
got it. Trail Pimp saying look out for Talis Turk and Adolf Silva at Rampage this year. Oh
yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Heck yeah. Oh yeah, check it out. Marty Richards all the way from New Zealand in the house. Is what up,
What?
MTV nerds?
Dang, New Zealand. That's like, if you could ever have a bucket list, that's my bucket list, is to go ride New Zealand.
Dude, if you do, reach out to Marty out there.
Yeah.
Him and his kids ride, and they're always in the race circuit. There are like, it looks so good there.
Yeah.
I mean, is that gonna be loam like 24/7, 365, or what?
I mean, just from everything I watch, yes, but I mean, he could probably jump in and tell us that. But I mean, I don't know. I've had a few friends that have gone out there and they ride, and they just said nothing compares. I mean, maybe the closest thing will be Whistler, and I was just in Whistler, and that was like unbelievable. I mean, when you come back from Whistler, you literally do not want to ride anything that's local, because you're like, I'm not wasting my time because that place is so good. But
it ruins it. Dude, when my son and I went to Whistler, we literally got back. It was in the summer, and the next morning I took him out to Vail just to shake off like airplane legs and stuff. And we found ourselves quietly sitting at the bottom of the jump line, and there was like dead stuff everywhere, like dead bushes. It's hot. It's getting hotter. And we looked at each other. We're like, huh, so Vail, huh? And we're still in a big stoke about Whistler. And I'm looking around. I'm like, I used to be so happy to be out here, and now I'm ruined.
What did you guys ride a lot? Did you ride A-Line? And
we did A-Line, Crank It Up, Seymour. We pretty much stuck to that side of the mountain off of the the Garbanza lift.
Yeah, the Garbanza lift.
Yeah. How about you? Where did you go? Were you all over, or?
All over, all the way over to Creekside and back, and all the jump lines and everything. We hit everything. I mean, like all the gnarly stuff. Like, yeah, it was a wild time. Got to meet up with some local pros there and rip with them. So it was a good time. And yeah, my buddy 80, he put the ride together for us up there, and it was a dream come true. I've always wanted to go there ever since I've seen Whistler years ago, and that place is of the Mecca. It is insane.
It's insane. Did you happen to catch Colin April's last video of April hitting Dirt Merchant? And did you get some Dirt Merchant in?
I don't know if I saw that video, but yes, I did get a lot of Dirt Merchant in, and Dirt Merchant is by far probably like one of my favorite trails.
Dude, that looks
so good.
How was that drop to that step up?
Oh, it's my favorite. I literally dream about that right now. Like, I
really
love to go back there. Like, there's so many things, hindsight, like now that I'm like home, I'm like, like tricking that step up, or just having good flow, big whips, like something fun over that. It'd just be like all time. And I rode my Capra the whole time there, which is enough bike. But I think if I like went out there with like a 2S or something, it'd probably be a little bit different. But the Capra just, I mean, it held it no problem. And in that place, that step down to step up is just it's so fun. It looks gnarly, but it's so easy and just so fun, and just like it just flows. That place just flows so well.
If you had to call one of your favorite sections there, it doesn't have to be a trail. It could be a combo of features. What
Dirt Merchant.
It is Dirt Merchant.
100% Dirt Merchant. Ooh. I know everybody likes A-Line, but I'm not the A-Line kind of guy. Like, A-Line's fun, super choppy, but Dirt Merchant by far. Dirt Merchant's, it's the way to go.
Man. On your first run in, when you got to the pro line, did you just go automatic to the right? Like, I just see red. I'm going over there. Going to the right. Yeah. The right line.
It's kind of funny. Like, real quick, I'll say it. I showed up, and my buddies were already there for a couple days, and I was like, "Hey, dude, we got to go up and like hit some like mellow trails so I can get kind of like a feel for it." Like, I didn't ride the Capra. I rode it like 2 times before ever. And so I was like, I got to get a feel for the bike, like make sure that I'm set up correctly. Nope. We went straight into blacks and double blacks right off the bat. And he was like, my buddies were just kind of like laughing at me. They're like, yeah, we're just going to go and hit this trail and stuff. And then it was like straight into A-Line, straight into Dirt Merchant, like hitting those big jumps. And I'm like, oh God, like, dude, you guys are like taking me through the ringer right now. But everything just flows so nice there. It's like as long as you just hit everything with trail speed, it was so good.
Dude, that's so good. And Cage, Joe, what's up? Joey, he's back from the parents' night at school.
There you go.
He says Mike is definitely not a kook, and he is one of the best riders I know. Facts.
Thanks.
Facts.
Joey's the lucky winner of my dirt love. And I'm
yes. 242. Who's got 242? And everybody was like yelling. And then one guy was yelling so loud I thought he won. And then afterwards he goes, "Who got it?"
yeah. But you can hear it in the video, like across the way, the whole crowd's yelling, like, "Oh, you won it!" And then it's like, "Oh, come up." He's like, "Oh, I didn't really win it." And then out of nowhere, here comes Joey with a ticket, like, "I won it." I'm like, "Dude, what? That's so sick,
dude, so awesome." Joey has he deserved that shine. He's had a really rough this last year, but man, to see him get that shine on that. And what's crazy, Mike, is we were on the podcast Thursday prior to the event.
I watched
and
it.
We were like, dude, what who's gonna win the bike? And Joey's like, I already talked to Mike. I'm pretty much got it in the bag. And then we kind of went along with that jokingly, like, well, let's use the law of attraction. Like, you are gonna win the dirt love, and I had the heart button going and everything. And when he won it, we're like, "Oh, it works! It totally works!"
I honestly didn't see the podcast until afterwards that you guys did. And I was like, holy shit! I'm gonna start talking like this all the time that I win things. I'm gonna start saying that for the lottery all the time. Yeah, I'm winning lottery tomorrow, don't doubt. But
you gotta think about it to be about it.
Right? That's the best line ever. Think about it to be about it. I'm gonna use that in my clinic. Think about it, guys.
Heck yeah, you definitely have to. But that was like the most classic win ever. And I know because from the podcast with him at the beginning saying, "Oh yeah, I already talked to Mike, it's in the bag." Like, did he? And then so the question is was it rigged?
No, absolutely. That's Joey said something to me about that, and I was like, no, dude, like, I don't know. There was probably a few hundred tickets inside the box that was sitting on the table for everyone to put the thing in. And I mean, you've seen in the video, I was shaking that box up like crazy.
Yes.
I pulled out a random ticket, and like,
you were nervous.
For a quick minute, I was like super nervous because I'm like, all right, dude, like, you're really giving your bike away right now. Like, let's call out the number. And as soon as I seen it was Joey, I was like, solid. This is good work. So
that was so rad. That was so rad. Joey's saying, "I'm still in disbelief." Still in disbelief. Going back to so definitely not fixed. And law of attraction works.
100% not fixed. Just a massive coincidence that all this kind of just came together, and it's hilarious that
it was so good. It was so good. Yo, SoCal saying Biden did that.
Yes, he did.
Actually, I think he's talking about the gas prices. Yeah. Right? 380 in Durango and crazy out here.
The way through 380
is so good. Let's see. Trail Pimp saying, "Good, you had fun. Fun ride today, Steve." Okay, so that was for his LA ride. Rotorua Loam, 364 days a year. The 5th day is Christmas, in which they all rest.
Yeah. That's good to know. Good information to know.
Loam.
45 minutes house. Insane.
Gosh, man, that is insane. That is insane. Trail Pimp saying, "Thank you, Joy, for giving a shout out on last week's show." Spokesman saying, "It's all in the wrist." It's all in the wrist. Oh man, he says, "Yes, be careful what you say," because he just broke his chain. Going along with that whole law of attraction, literally, we were just talking about like, hey, when's the last time we broke a chain? Like, oh, we were talking about the chain, and then the next day, Joey sends me a picture of his chain off. He's like, "Dude, weren't we just talking about this?" Like,
Joey, just put it in the atmosphere that you're winning the lottery.
Yes, and you're split. You're buying a sick mountain bike house for all of us to just kind of start and stop at.
And buying me a new decoy. I'm just throwing that out there too.
Yes, you got to think about it to be about it.
That's hilarious.
Mike, I think we'll end it there, brother. dude, thank you for jumping on the show. I really appreciate it, dude.
No,
It's
I
so good.
appreciate you, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to jump on here and kind of, you know, tell everyone thanks for the charity ride, stoked on the clinic, and kind of tell my little backstory about, you know, in a very high level backstory about myself, so people kind of understand who I am and what I'm about. And at the end of the day, I just try to be a good human and just help out the community. So.
Yes, and you're doing that. Good human indeed. And this good human also works for June Shine. Take a look at new beers coming out from June Shine in the near future. Also, if you want to jump on and take Mike's clinic, take a look at Mike at MTB Kook on Instagram. Is that the main spot where they can follow you, Mike?
Yeah, just follow me. It's the only thing I have going on. I don't really dabble a whole lot into the social media, but yeah, just MTB Kook on Instagram, and give a follow, and when I have my next clinic, if you want to jump in on it, I'll be doing another beginner novice, and then probably right after that, I'll probably jump into doing more of like an intermediate style clinic, and we'll have some fun there.
I love it. I love it. Take a look out for when those clinics are. And Mike helping raise through the MTB community over $6,000 that went directly to the folks in Maui. Mike, one more time, if people want to donate, what is that website called again that goes directly to the people?
Yeah, it's freshhelpmaui.com.
freshhelpmaui.com. Thanks again, brother. Have to have you back on the show. We got to do this more. Super fun. So good. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Bush, aka MTB Kook. Thank you all again for jumping on. We'll see you all in the next episode, or we'll see you out on the trails. If you see Mike out there, jump up and say what's up. You might want to look up because he'll be flying over our heads. We'll see you guys all in the next episode.
Sick. Later.